Hey, how's it going everyone? My name is Sekdos and welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to be doing a complete guide on encounters. This will be pretty basic. It's really just going to be a guide for newer players so that they can understand the game mode a little bit better. Alright, so let's just jump right in. So the first thing you're going to see when you enter the menu screen, I guess, are the 3 encounter maps. This far right one will always be here for 2 weeks. It rotates every 2 weeks, and then these two rotate every like hour and 15 minutes, I think. So, yeah, that's all you need to know for that one. But before you even get into a game, first you gotta look at your loadout. So, you never want to enter a game with your loadout looking like this. This is way too much, and it's very unnecessary if you're trying to get as much loot as you can to upgrade your house. So, what you're going to do is just hover over the stuff and get rid of it. Pretty basic. And now that your loadout is completely empty, you're going to go over to weapons, and you're going to want to pick a gun that is kind of all in one. So if we're talking about a beginner kind of area, I would suggest either the AKM or the ES-16. These are very good guns at all ranges, and you can be very efficient with them. But you can also do combinations like this PM63 with a Mosin. You just want to make sure that you can cover all ranges when you get into gunfights. You don't want to be at a disadvantage at any range. Alright, so when it comes to the consumable tab, when it comes to heals, I really just bring maybe like 1 or 2 different pairs of heals, maybe 3s if I am really feeling feisty that day, I guess you could say. Yeah, and then when it comes to tools like the glints and jammers and stuff, that really just depends on what you think you're going to be doing for that encounter. Every tool is pretty much just a personal choice. So yeah. And this is honestly pretty much what your loadout should look like. You don't really want to exceed anything past these 2 bars. I even say past like this middle point right here is probably a little too much. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Don't bring too much so you can get as much stuff as possible out with you in your encounter. Alright, so pretty much this is the pre-game screen. If you press the button that says toggle outliner info, it'll bring up just all the different stuff that you can see about your opponents that you're going up against. And then we go down here to all this different stuff. If you press booster details, that tells you everything that you need. So this first one improves the loot for everyone in the encounter. The second one improves the value of the airdrop. And the third one is insurance, which means that you will not lose anything from your encounter. Because if you do die, you do lose everything. So this kind of prevents you from losing your stuff, I guess. The first thing you should do is go to the first structure, town, or camp that you see and start looting it. This is a basic loot location, and other ones are like sheds, cars, and other places like that, where you're going to be finding some pretty basic loot. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just loot. But while you are searching through these areas, you will find 2 unique loot spots, and that is the locked crate, which after solving a short combination lock will unlock and give you some ammo and resources and sometimes a gun. And another one is the buried stash, which after finding a picture and going to that location that the picture shows, you can dig up a stash which will give you a bunch of medical supplies and resources. So those are really nice, but there is one more thing that you can get in these common loot areas, and that is a red box loot crate. These will only spawn in these red boxes, and they will 100% have a loot crate in them if the box spawns. Airdrop, I should say. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, because it's a really easy way to get a free airdrop. Another thing you can come across in these common looting areas are telephones. So you can either send out a phone call or answer a phone call, and this will start a phone duel. And basically you'll just be marked on the map, you and your opponent, and you guys can either go out and meet up and fight, or you can just kind of avoid each other. It's however you just want to play it. Alright, now let's talk about POIs. So I'll put POIs in two different categories. First, there's loot POIs, and then second, there are utility POIs. So I classify loot POIs as obviously like guard house, time safe, lock container, and then the utility POIs are stuff like comm station, disruptive tower, and signal detector, which we will all go over in just a second. But first, I'm going to start with loot POIs, starting with the Bard House. So the Bard House will randomly spawn anywhere on the map in some sort of building, and all of the windows and entrances will be barred up. So you have to take down the barricades on it, and then go inside and start unlocking the safe. The safe will take 1 minute to unlock, so just be prepared to defend the area if you must. And after the safe unlocks, the loot that you get is mostly stuff like mid to low tier guns with some pretty good consumables slash tools. And then you get some pretty good resources with it as well, and some weapon parts. Now let's move on to the time safe. So the time safe will also spawn somewhere near or in structures, and two buttons will spawn with it. These buttons will buzz, and you have to find and press both of the buttons in a certain amount of time to unlock the time safe. And when you do unlock the time safe, you'll get usually mid to high tier guns, some really good consumables, sometimes some health items, and also some really good weapon parts, also resources as well. In my opinion, I think the time safe is the best POI that you can get. Last but not least is the lock container. So the lock container, in my opinion, is the most risky, but also has the highest reward. There's two ways to open this lock container. You can either unlock all three of the combination locks in order to open the door, or you can shoot all the combination locks off, but this will alert everybody in the map, and also it'll send a mortar strike shooting down on you. But once you do get inside, you will find high tier guns, high tier resources, high tier weapon parts. It is really good. I think you can also get high tier consumables as well. Let's talk about utility POIs, starting with the signal detector. So the signal detector is pretty much like a UAV for Vigor. So when you activate it, it will allow you to see everybody's position on the map, and this information will let you loot safely, hunt people, get out of an area. It just gives you so much information to work with. So yeah. Next is the Disruptive Tower. The Disruptive Tower is pretty much like a jammer, and will jam everybody's maps and compasses in a large area around the tower. Lastly is the comm station, which will allow you to put advantages or disadvantages on the airdrop. So first is relocate, which allows you to relocate the airdrop. Next is reinforce, which adds ammo and consumables to the airdrop. Next is quick release, which reduces the interaction time when you're looting the airdrop. Last is stealth, which hides your position from people on maps and compasses. Next is buoy trap, which allows you to put a buoy trap on the airdrop, which is a puzzle that if you don't solve it in time or do it incorrect, it will blow up. Next is decoy, which makes it so another airdrop drops, but it's a decoy. After that is oversize, which makes it so the airdrop is heavier, so you run out of stamina faster. After that is radioactive, which makes it so you get radiation damage after carrying the airdrop. Alright, so finally we're going to talk about the airdrop, which is kind of like the end game loot POI, and will start to be announced and drop between 7 and 8 minutes, so you have to be aware of that time if you want to get your hands on the airdrop. Now, once you do get the airdrop, it's really just a common loot crate, so they're really not that good, but if you do boost up the lobby, you can get it up to a legendary, or not a legendary, but a special issue crate, and even, I think you can even get like 2 crates at once if you boost it enough. But once you do pick up the airdrop, unless you picked up the invisibility perk, your position will be shown to everybody on the map periodically, so it'll kind of go on and off on the map. So people will like to hunt you, so once you do get the airdrop, make sure you get out of the encounter as fast as you can and head to your nearest exit. Alright, let's talk about the exits just really fast. So there are open exits and locked exits. Open exits will have no like lock symbol on it, so that means you can go through it without paying any resources. But with locked exits, you either have to pay electronics, wire, fuel, anything to get through the locked exit. So be careful for that when you do end up at the end game and you need an exit to go through. Also, if you ever arrive to an exit and you hear crows flying off, that means someone is camping the exit, so either run away or be very careful going into the exit. And let's just talk about the radiation storm really fast. So the radiation storm will come between 10 and 12 minutes into the match, and after it does come in and you start getting radiation damage, you have about 1 minute to get out of the radiation and get to the nearest exit, or you will die from radiation damage. So I think that is just about it for the basics of encounters. I hope someone learned something here. If you did, give me a like, and if I missed something, please let me know in the comments below so that everyone else can see this information, because I really want this to be something that helps new players. So, if you guys like me, give me a subscribe, and as always guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Stay blessed, and peace out. See ya.